All right, sitting here with Supreme Mathematics, talking about this situation going on here in Hempstead, and we'll give
Boom.
it to him.
This here is the impact study, the supplemental draft impact study that is given to any development project of this magnitude in downtown Hempstead. And the trustees, the mayor, the executive committee of the committee, I believe it's the committee for community benefits from the mayor's office, have not read this. This tells about the water, the traffic, the schools, the buildings, the height, the depth, the play areas, the non-play areas, the transit, the entertainment zone, the entertainment zone, the transit zone, the commercial zones, the Oakland residential zones, and have not read this, and yet they're going to put together a community benefit agreement. They haven't done that. This hasn't been done, hasn't been read, and the mayor does not refuse to give a 30-day extension on it or even put it in Spanish. The people who are going to be impacted the most on this is the Latino community north of Main Street. So he refused to put this in Spanish, refused to do a 30-day extension. And here's what I need. I need the people on Tuesday, June 26th, to come to the library in Hempstead Village and demand that before the zoning of this impact study is passed, that a true community benefit agreement is passed. And here's the thing: I represent the Community Benefits for Hempstead Coalition. We're the only ones who put together any type of draft of any type of form of demands of what should be in a CBA. This is the only thing that Hempstead Village has to use as a CBA, and we're asking for this to be utilized as the draft work for community benefit agreement, and also be signed before the zoning. Because once the zoning is done, there's no need to actually do anything. The developer doesn't have to do anything after he's getting all his zoning passed, the impact study has been passed, and everything's been passed. There's no other need that he has to do to get a community benefit done. And if anybody ever been to Atlantic City know what I'm talking about. If we don't get a benefit agreement, we will still have unemployment at a high rate, and all these buildings will be put up around us. We'll still have people homeless living around, and still have luxury houses still being developed. We'll still have a luxury looking downtown community, but the beneficiaries of that community will not be able to take part of it and will not have any say in what happens and who does what. And the community benefit agreement that I'm asking from our coalition, we're not just asking for a draft piece of paper. We want to be the implementers. We want to implement the community benefit agreement. We want to make sure that the jobs are actually done. We want to create the agencies that hire the people, go through the paperwork. We want to make sure that the implementation and compliances are being done for the next 10 years. We don't want just to put a document on a piece of paper. We want to make sure that the implementing of those documents are actually done. The actual components are really done, and also make sure the penalties are actually put in place that needs to be put in place for those who don't comply inside the community benefit agreement. It's okay to change the zoning. It's okay to create a new and better community, but make sure the community benefits from those changes in zoning. Let's don't build a new Hempstead for a new population of people to come, and the residents who live in the village of Hempstead that don't participate inside the great development that's about to happen. $2.2 billion is what they say today, but how can you even come to a conclude that's a $2.2 billion conclusion of a bill up or build out, as they would say, and you haven't even asked the community about the amenities that it would like to put inside that $2.2 billion. It may be 10 billion, maybe 25 billion, but we don't even know because the arrogancy of the developer and the mayor is that they don't want to talk to residents in the community at large. It's okay to pick so-called community leaders as that input, but if they're not walked the streets and got over 2,000 signatures, we collected 2,000 signatures of the residents of the village of Hempstead to say that they want an active community benefit agreement that will protect them, that will protect the children in the school district. We already know right now the developer's saying 400 out of 10 years of the only amount of children to come inside the school district. We all know that that's not true, that one couple can make 15 kids in one 10-year setting. We already know that. So we know that that's not true when they talk about an X amount of children coming into development. And also what I just want to add to it, and what is not being thought of, is that that's what the developers say. But once the downtown overlay zone is laid in place, any developer, anybody who come in can build a 12-story building that has an apartment unit complex to it that can bring out 2,000 kids. Look at 100 Terrace. 100 Terrace brings out 1,000 plus kids. out of it already. So let's don't kid ourselves that, oh, the developer said that's all he's going to do. The reality is that the benefit agreement will protect us in all those matters, all those forms. 590 just had a fire. They couldn't get up to the top floor of the building because the fire trucks can't reach that high. That tells you something. Boom. There needs to be a benefit agreement to protect us in case of a fire. Also, buildings are being built in wooden frames with no firewall to protect us from fire. That could be put into the CBA. Let's don't sleep on the community benefit agreement. Let's don't take small, naive people thinking to be the leadership of the CBA also, because they're not thinking overall about the community itself, the community at large, and the way people are going to be affected by this the next 10 years. I'm fighting for not only myself, but my children, my grandchildren, and my great-great-grandchildren who happen to may want to live in the village of Hempstead the rest of their lives. There's nothing wrong with that. But can we protect ourselves so we don't be an act of something like Atlantic City, where it's beautiful on the beachfront and it's horrible outside the beachfront? I'm asking everybody who sees this film, this video, on Tuesday, June 26th, pack out the library at Nichols Court in the village of Hempstead, because this is what we need. The people, residents of the village of Hempstead, to say, look, protect us. Make sure we don't sign a CBA. Make sure that CBA, the Community Benefit Agreement, is signed before the zoning is changed. Because once the zoning is changed, there's no need for a community benefit to be signed. And that is reality. We must do what must be done. Get the Community Benefit Agreement signed. A real, active, strong Community Benefit Agreement with its components attached to it. That will be signed and ready to be delivered to the people and service the people when the shovel goes in the ground. That's the only thing that's going to protect us. That's the only thing that's going to make it a safe place to live in. That's the only thing that's going to make communities like Hempstead vibrant again and alive again. There's plenty of jobs coming, 10,000 plus jobs, but we need a training facility for young people and adults now in construction. Right now we need that, and that could be a part of that community benefit agreement. That's what we need to do. That's what I actually do. Come on Tuesday, June 26th at the Village Hall, and let your voice be heard.
At the Village Hall or the library?
At the library. I'm sorry, you're right. At the library. Downstairs in the library, the meeting room on Nichols Court.
You heard it. Be there.